What's up guys, welcome back to another video on Pure Panorama. I just want to let you know right out of the gate that this video was filmed in two different segments, 2 different days. I started it yesterday and had to finish it up today. We did change the battery terminals on the 24 valve though. I got into it yesterday and realized with the style terminals that I was installing that I didn't have the proper tool to crimp down the lugs on the end of my battery cables, so I had to get that tool today from our electrician at work and finish up the job and get it done correctly before I could edit this video and upload it to you guys for you guys to see what I did and how I did it. I wanted to make sure everything was done and done right, so if you guys are going to do new terminals on your truck and choose to use the same style as me, that you knew how to do it, knew how to get them crimped down there properly so that you don't have any issues down the road. But that's it, just wanted to let you know that right at the beginning of this video in the intro so you guys weren't confused if you saw kind of a mixture of footage. But that's it for this. Let's just jump into the video. I hope you enjoy it and let's go get these battery terminals swapped. In this video we're going to go ahead and cut off the battery terminals on the 24 valve and start to get them replaced with the new ones. I did pick up a wide variety of different parts, from battery cable lugs to heavy duty terminals to military terminals and a few other things as well, so I will show you what I got in a couple seconds, and then we're gonna just jump right into it and start cutting these old ones off. They desperately need to be changed. I will show you those before we get into it. I've showed you guys in previous videos, but for anyone who doesn't know, just a quick background on the truck. It has been experiencing some type of hard start, and I went and had the alternator tested today at AutoZone, and when they hooked it up on the machine it said bad voltage regulator, or voltage regulator failed, something like that. So I need to do a little searching and looking into that. I need to do a little bit of homework on that. But the quick Google search that I did run when I was getting back to work earlier was that the voltage regulator is actually in the computer for the truck. Now I don't know how true that is. I don't know what the deal is with it just yet, but I figured that we can obviously look into it, try to figure that out. And in the meantime, we can do some smaller stuff like get these battery terminals finally done. So for starters, we got 4 sets of battery cable lugs, and the hole in the lug that goes around the post of the battery terminal that you would connect it to is 3/8 in diameter. So we got 2 sets of those, and we got 2 sets of these ones, which are for 2-gauge cable. The only problem is I don't know if the battery cables on the 24 valve are a 2-gauge or a 3-gauge. They are pretty big cables, as you all know who own these trucks. The other problem is I don't have the proper crimper to get these crimped properly. So you can see that we already have one lug right here on this positive wire that goes from this battery over to the passenger side battery, runs right up over the radiator there. Well, whoever installed this lug did not install it properly. You don't just put these on and then pinch them down on the wire in hopes that it'll hold and think that that's the right way, because that is not how you crimp these style lugs. These style lugs actually need to be crimped in a way that it has almost like a V notch in it. So it would basically pinch the middle of the wire right here and then force the wire towards the outer edges of the lug, and then have kind of like a valley and a V-notch right down the center here. And the other good thing to do with these lugs here is use some type of like oxidation prevention. So that's what I got for helping to prevent oxidation, which is just a little tube of oxgard. I'm basically gonna load up the interior of the lugs with this oxgard and then shove my battery cables in there and get to crimping. Sorry for the change of appearance. This video was filmed in 2 days because, like I said in yesterday's segment, I needed to get a crimping tool from our electrician so that I could crimp these copper cable lugs down properly onto the battery cables under the hood of the Cummins. So the battery cables on this truck are extremely large. They are a 3/0 cable. That's a pretty fat cable, so you can imagine the size of the lug with the wire in there. Your average crimper that you're going to pick up off the shelf at Lowe's or Home Depot isn't going to get the job done, and it's not going to crimp it properly either. So I think that I already said how they're supposed to be crimped, but I'm going to show you here in a second the proper way that these battery cable lugs should be crimped down onto your cable leads, and we'll go over that here in a second, and I'll show you the final product. But I was able to get that done earlier. He did get that tool over to me, and him and I did that quick on lunch break. So we got that all wrapped up. We got all the new battery terminals on the 24 valve, and things seem to be good so far. So I did load up the ends of the cables with oxgard and put a little bit in each side, or inside each of the lugs, and then we stuck all the cables in and then crimped them down. So hopefully that will help to block and prevent oxidation and keep those cable ends nice and clean. I do have to go around still and try to clean up a little bit more with the connections and stuff, but I cleaned up all the posts on the batteries themselves and cleaned up as much of the cable ends as I could before we stuck the lugs on, but there's still a little bit of cleaning left to be done on the truck, and hopefully we get a good solid sound connection now that we have all these new terminals installed. But right now, let's go ahead and get the hood popped, and I'll show you the final product and how these cable lugs should be crimped down. So if anybody wants to install these marine style battery terminals on your truck and you're gonna do the lugs like I did, this is how they're supposed to be. I'm sorry I forgot completely to show you what the tool looked like, but you'll probably be able to see it enough in the clips of us crimping these lugs down on the ends of the cables. Let's show you the final product. So we'll start here on the driver's side, and you can see these two lugs right here, how they are basically just crushed right down the middle, and that is what you want if you're going to use these lugs like this. Obviously we went with the copper for the best conductivity, and we were still able to get a good crimp on these, even though I had used a pair of channel lock pliers to originally try and pinch these down onto the ends of my cables. What you don't want to do before you use the crimper to go ahead and crimp them like this, you don't want to get them flattened out, because there's like a little V notch in the crimper to where the roundness of this lug will set into, and then there's basically a post or a stud that punches up and pushes it into that little notch and gives you this crimp down the center. So you don't want to flatten it out too much. So I'll show you this negative one here. You can see is a little more flattened out. We do have a good punch right there though, holding that main lead in there. And then on the back side, there's an even better one, which I'm not going to take it off to show you guys right now, but there is a deeper divot right there, like that one on the back side, really holding these three negative leads in that lug. And I gotta say, just the tightness of these new terminals on the battery posts compared to the old ones is a night and day difference. It took a lot of force just to get these new terminals pushed down over the post, and I barely had to tighten up these screws here to get them to hold on there. So we definitely have a much better connection on the batteries now. So if we get over here on the passenger side, these ones were done 100% correct right from the start, unlike the driver's side over there that I got into the middle of everything and then realized, crap, I'm not going to be able to crimp them, so I had to use channel locks and kind of flatten them out first just to hold on to the battery cables until I got out to work today to get the tool. These ones we did fresh right out of the package, so you can see that that is what they should look like if you stick them into the crimper and they're still round so they can fit down in that V notch. and then have the stud come out and just punch it. And basically what it does, guys, is it just takes that big cable inside there and it spreads it out to the sides of the lug there and pinches it down in there nice. So that is all in there protected by oxgard. You can see that the bottom of that terminal still has like a round V shape to it. And then there's our negative right there. We're good to go. This one actually started to fall back out of there a little bit, but we managed to hold it in there and shove it back up in there a little bit and then get a good solid crimp on there. So those are the new battery terminals right there. They're all on there. It's done. Everything is fresh. We got such better contact on the batteries than we did prior to getting these installed. So I'm pretty happy with how they came out. I didn't want to use the other terminals that you just clamp down with a screw on either side and then they hold the wires in there. I didn't really want to use those, but I would have if I had no other option. But luckily, you know, our electrician has all the tools that I needed, as in the crimper, so I was able to do it this way. And I feel like this is a much more solid way to do it. You're just gonna have, in my mind, just a much better connection. So that is gonna do it for this video, filmed in 2 parts, 2 different days. Just had to make sure I got this stuff done right before I finish the video off. Edited it and then put it out there for you guys. So we got it done, it's done properly, and that was the finished product. Like I said though, there's many different options out there to put new battery terminals on your truck or your car, whatever it is. There's different materials that the terminals are made out of, so you can basically go any route that you want to with doing this. But for me, that was the only option that I wanted and wanted to get done for mine, so that I had a good solid connection and the cables were protected like I already said. But if you are going to go this route, just make sure that you get them crimped on there properly. Don't just squeeze on them with some channel locks. You will run into problems. You'll probably have a cable fall out of them or whatever. They do not hold on there the way that they should. So make sure you crimp them properly and you'll be a-okay, and shouldn't have any other issues with them after that. Just like I said, check them for if they need to be cleaned and still have a good solid connection to the battery post, and you're good to go. We are going to end this one here though, because this already took a good 2 days to get filmed and done for you guys, to make sure that I got this done right before I showed you what I was doing in getting this video out there. Had to make sure it was done properly so I could show you guys the right way of getting these lugs installed on your truck if you wanted to go this route for new battery terminals. So that is going to do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and if you are going to do new terminals, maybe you can go this route and get a good protected solid connection at your batteries. As always though, hit that like button before you leave. If you guys are stopping in for the first time, you're new here, hit that subscribe button and join the family that is almost 1,000 members strong now. We are so close to 900, and then the countdown is on to 1,000. I can't wait to hit that milestone with you guys. We are this close, and dude, I am pumped, and I owe so many thank yous to you guys. It's not even funny. So hit that subscribe button, join the family, let's get that goal, and I will see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Peace.